Captain, before we step onto this cost and paper island, tell me, what does bill make you feel when it means a statement asking for payment, a written proposal for a new law, and the beak of a bird? Meaning 1. A statement that shows money you must pay, used for a document or total amount showing the cost of something. Example: the hotel bill was higher than expected. Common use: pay the bill, phone bill, electricity bill. Bill due. Meaning 2. A written proposal for a new law, used in government and politics for a text that may become law after approval. Example: the new bill was discussed in Parliament all week. Common use: pass a bill, propose a bill becomes law. New bill. Meaning 3. The beak of a bird, used for the hard mouth part of a bird. Example: the seagull picked up a shell in its bill. Common use: duck bill, bird's bill, yellow bill. Bird bill. Bill is very common in daily life. When we talk about money we must pay, such as a phone bill or restaurant bill. In formal public language, it can mean a proposed law. In nature contexts, it also means a bird's beak. Read every line with care, Captain. Carry bill for the money we owe, for the written path toward law, and for the bird's strong beak by the shore as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this light and excellence island, tell me, what does brilliant make you feel when it means extremely bright, extremely intelligent or skillful, and extremely impressive or wonderful? Meaning 1. Extremely bright, shining very strongly. Used for light, colour or objects that shine with great strength or clarity. Example: a brilliant flash lit up the sea for a moment. Common use: brilliant light, brilliant sun, brilliant white. Brilliant light. Meaning 2. Extremely intelligent, clever or skillful. Used for a person or idea that shows outstanding intelligence or talent. Example: she came up with a brilliant solution to the root problem. Common use: brilliant student, brilliant idea, brilliant mind. Brilliant idea. Meaning 3. Extremely impressive, excellent or wonderful. Used to praise something that is very successful, enjoyable or impressive. Example: the crew gave a brilliant performance during the storm drill. Common use: brilliant job, brilliant performance, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant work. Brilliant can describe strong light, a highly intelligent person or idea, or something excellent and impressive. It is a powerful positive word, so it often adds admiration as well as description. Let every step shine with purpose, Captain. Carry brilliant for dazzling light, for sharp intelligence, and for the kind of excellence that makes the whole journey glow as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this identity in Mark Island, tell me, what does brand make you feel when it means a product name or company identity, a particular image or style, and a mark burned onto something to show ownership? Meaning 1. A product name or company identity. Used for the name people recognize for a company, product, or line of goods. Example: this brand is known for reliable sailing gear. Common use: famous brand, luxury brand, brand name. Trusted brand. Meaning 2. A particular image, identity, or style that people connect with someone or something. Used for the special impression or public identity a person, company, or product creates. Example: the cafe built its brand around calm design and local food. Common use: build a brand, brand identity, personal brand. Brand identity. Meaning 3. A mark burned onto an animal or object to show ownership. Used for a physical mark made with heat, especially in older or traditional ownership systems. Example: the rancher checked the brand on the animal carefully. Common use: cattle brand, burner brand, brand mark. Brand mark. Brand is very common in business, where it means a product name or the overall identity. People connect with the company or product. It can also describe a style or image someone builds in public. In a more literal and older sense, it means a burned ownership mark. Shape your identity with care, Captain. Carry brand for the name people recognize, for the image that makes something memorable, and for the mark that once showed ownership as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this clarity and summary island, tell me, what does basically make you feel when it means in the simplest way, in general or in most important terms, and almost or practically in effect? Meaning 1. In the simplest or most essential way. Used when explaining something in a clear, reduced and simple form. Example: basically the map shows only the safest route. Common use: basically speaking, basically the same, basically simple. Basically. Meaning 2. In general, when we focus on the most important point. Used to summarize the main idea without giving every small detail. Example: basically the crew agreed with the new plan. Common use: basically yes, basically true, basically right. Basically agreed. Meaning 3. Almost practically, very nearly. Used when something is not fully exact, but close enough to be treated as true. Example: the tank is basically empty after the long trip. Common use: basically done, basically empty, basically impossible. Basically empty. Basically is often used to make an explanation simpler and clearer. It can introduce the essential meaning of something, summarize the main point, or show that something is almost true in practice. So basically often helps speakers reduce detail and focus on what matters most. Keep your words clear and your thinking sharp, Captain. Carry basically for simple explanation, for the main point that guides understanding, and for the near true meaning that helps us steer through detail as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this coast and space island, tell me, what does bay make you feel when it means a part of the sea that curves into the land, a separate section or compartment in a building or ship, and a reddish-brown colour often used for horses? Meaning 1. A part of the sea or lake that curves inward into the land. Used for a wide coastal area where the water is partly surrounded by land. Example, the fishing boats rested quietly in the bay. Common use, across the bay, a small bay, bay water. Bay area. Meaning 2. A separate section, space or compartment. Used for a clearly marked area inside a building, garage, hospital, ship or workspace. Example. The repair team moved the engine into the service bay. Common use. Loading bay, service bay, storage bay. Service bay. Meaning 3. A reddish-brown colour, especially used for horses. Used to describe a deep brown colour with a warm red tone, often in animal descriptions. Example. A bay horse stood near the fence in the morning light. Common use. Bay horse. Dark bay. Bay coat. Bay horse. Bay most commonly means a curved part of the sea along the coast. In technical or workplace contexts, it can mean a separate section or compartment, such as a loading bay or service bay. In descriptions of animals, especially horses, bay refers to a reddish-brown colour. Keep your eyes open to land, structure and colour, Captain. Carry bay for the calm curve of coastal water, for the marked spaces where work is done, and for the rich reddish-brown shade that brings detail to the world as we sail to the next island.